I'm Dante Hurd.
And I'm Jamie Hurd, and we're the owners of Aesthetic Birmingham. It warms my heart just to see how we are able to offer a space to other creatives here in Birmingham, knowing that we're creatives ourselves. And I can just think back, like when we first started shooting, like back in college, and we didn't have a space. We would just be around the city everywhere, shooting any and everybody anywhere. And that's because we didn't have a space. So being able to now have our own space and offer that to the other creators that are coming up, like, it's a huge blessing. Some of the main organizations that helped us greatly, one is definitely Create Birmingham. If you do not know Create Birmingham, look them up. But they're a local company here in Birmingham that helps startups. So they help you formulate your idea, help find you resources and things like that.
I think it's really a number of great resources here in Birmingham for people who are trying to start businesses and have ideas, and just do your research and just find all those resources, those organizations who are here to help and help you kind of mold and make your idea into what it needs to be. And just relationships is another big thing, kind of develop relationships with people. It's all about who you know sometimes, and just find those resources and kind of go from there.
So if you have any type of business idea that just has been on your mind or been on your spirit, just make sure you go ahead and do it. Go for it. Do not allow fear to stop you. Do not allow naysayers to stop you. Do not allow Joe and Jane that's next door that maybe is doing the same thing. Do it, because what God has for you, it is for you. There are so many resources that are available here in Birmingham that are here to help you. We're here to help you. Literally, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And we can offer whatever guidance that we have. But please just go for it.
The city of Birmingham has resources and offices available to help you develop your ideas and start your business, so take advantage of those. Just go out there and follow your dreams.
My name is Tanae Dolphin, and I serve as the Director for the Office of Business Diversity and Opportunity. Our office was created to recognize the mayor's vision and develop a thriving small business ecosystem that fosters the support of women and minority businesses. Birmingham has always exemplified the phrase, "Where there's a will, there's a way," and the Office of Business Diversity and Opportunity is no exception. Our office has 3 strategies for accomplishing this feat. 1, filling the needs of the ecosystem, that business owners' needs are met and our progress thoroughly tracked. 2, improving government operations so that permitting, registration, and funding processes are more comprehensive and simpler. 3, finding purpose in place so that our businesses are recognized, celebrated, and elevated for the work they do and the community they bring. As a business owner, you are a part of a community whose connections to each other are what make us all thrive, even through difficult times like these. It is our job to connect you to the City of Birmingham's resources, tools, and strategies to fulfill Mayor Woodfin's vision. For minority and women-owned businesses, Birmingham is open for business. Thank you and enjoy your session.
Hello. Happy Monday and welcome to Small Business Week 2020. I am your host, Alicia Levels Moore of ASL Creative Strategies, and I am so excited that you are with us today. We have some amazing things in store for you. Small Business Week 2020 is brought to you by the Office of Business Diversity and Opportunity under the leadership of Tanae Dolphin, and they are so excited to ensure that we are supporting our small business community and entrepreneurs with everything they need to be successful. So you have done the work. You are here with us today, and we are so excited. You are tuned in for our Innovating Your Business Through Future Growth workshop. So what is that all about? This workshop is designed to help you to innovate your business and be prepared to pivot, to transition, and exchange ideas to figure out how to make sure that you are going in the direction you want to go in and you find the success that you want to find based on what we're facing right now as a nation. So I'm so excited today because I have two very amazing people to help us to dig right into how to innovate your business. We have Ms. Taylor Clark of Rev Birmingham, and we have Reginald Smith of Sabre Finance, and they are here with us today. Reginald, Taylor, say hey to the people.
Good morning. Afternoon.
Hello, everybody.
It is definitely the afternoon, brother. It's moving. The day is moving. So I just thank you guys so much for being here with us today and sharing the information that you have prepared. So I am going to let you guys go ahead and kick it off. Everyone who's tuned in, you can leave your comments, your questions, your thoughts below in the chat, and we will make sure that we have an opportunity to address them and to make sure that everyone gets their questions answered. So Taylor and Reggie, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Alicia. And thank you to the City of Birmingham, the Office of Business Diversity and Opportunity, and the multitude of partners that are contributing to Small Business Week. Reggie and I are super excited to kick us off today. And, you know, our community is just so very blessed to have a strong ecosystem in place to truly address the needs of our small business community, particularly right now. And we're grateful to spend time with you today and to kick off this awesome week of programming. Just a quick introduction of Rev Birmingham. If you're not familiar with us, we are a nonprofit, place-based organization, and we effectively create vibrant commercial districts. And for us, that means the people and the spaces that create a vibrant Birmingham, the civic spaces, the streetscapes, preserved historic buildings, an authentic place where everyone can realize their dreams. And entrepreneurs are the fabric of a vibrant community. And so as the Director of Business Growth and Recruitment for Rev Birmingham, I have the honor of helping to start, grow, and locate businesses in Birmingham. We are truly in this time together. I cannot walk in your shoes, but I can walk with you. And Reggie and I are looking forward to walking with you today. He is one of my favorite collaborators. And today we're talking about innovation. Reggie, tell us a little bit about Sabre before we get started.
Absolutely. Again, and so we're super excited to be here. Again, my name is Reginald Smith, and I am a managing director at Sabre Finance. And so Sabre Finance is a nonprofit entity headquartered right here in Birmingham, Alabama. And so actually a little known fact about us is we're Alabama's only headquartered micro lender. And we serve the entire state, helping with crafting lending solutions, as well as providing one-on-one, hands-on training and assistance and business consulting services at no cost. And so we just really love doing what we do, and we're super excited to be here with you all today. So I want to talk a little bit about why we're here. And so COVID-19 has been our call to pivot, to really innovate, and both individually and collectively. And so whether you're a two-person retail shop or a CEO of a corporation, you're likely to be forced to change, to do something different, to innovate. And so while that's on the top of your mind, whether you're two-person or a CEO, we would like to know who's here with us today. So put the name of your business and what industry you're in the chat. We would love to get a good idea of who's hanging out with us today as we move forward. And so if you'll go ahead and do that, that would be great. And so, you know, during this time, we've really been called to rethink our model and how we connect with our customers and how you're going to distribute your product in these unprecedented times. And, you know, things are changing, and we want to help you as you go along that journey and as you begin to think through that. So let's get started.
All right, let's do this. So if you've been isolated thanks to COVID and you have kids, this image is a no-brainer for you, right? Reggie and I both have little ones, and we've been working from home for 4 months. Reggie, how many times have you and your kids watched Frozen since the onslaught of COVID-19?
It's definitely more than 25, I'll tell you that much.
I may have you beat. And so for those who are joining us today, how many times have you and your family had to watch Frozen during isolation? But one of the things that I love about this image is that this scene communicates how so many of us are feeling at this time, right? The ground is literally quaking underneath our feet. We are sprinting just to stay ahead. And in particular for our small business owners, right? And staying ahead through innovation is what we are exploring today. So innovation, by definition, is the creation of something new. So, let's do a quick brainstorm. What are the words that come to mind when you think about innovation? Drop them in the chat if you have a second. What are the words that come top of mind? For me, that's fresh, new, imagination, competitive advantage, pivot, improved, adaptation. So often we use the term innovation as an association to the tech industry because by nature, this is what tech companies do. They innovate regularly. But the truth is that we should all be innovating consistently to ensure that we're relevant in a changing marketplace. And we are in a changing marketplace now, right, Reggie?
Absolutely. You know,
So,
go ahead.
go ahead. No, I was just going to say, so we're in this changing marketplace, and you might think innovation, that's not for me, right? That's for tech companies. But Reggie and I are here to talk about how innovation does apply to you. Who needs a roadmap, Reggie?
Oh my goodness. And so when you think about this, to Taylor's point, everything that's taking place right now, one of the things that came to mind before I really jump into, who needs a roadmap was the advantage of some of the advantages and disadvantages that a lot of people look at. Larger entities oftentimes, or smaller entities are oftentimes looking at the larger entities and saying, man, I wish I could do what they do or help be as plentiful in their resources as they are. But one of the beautiful things I want to encourage, everybody has the opportunity to innovate. Whether you're small, whether you're a medium-sized company or a large company, you have that opportunity. One of the things that, larger companies can't do, when you put this in perspectives of ships, a large ship is out on the big water and a small company could easily say, man, they have all those fish in the sea that they can pull in, and I can't get out there because I'm a smaller shop. But if you're a smaller shop and you're on a canoe or a kayak, you can get in certain streams and rivers and lakes that they would never have an opportunity to get there. And the beautiful thing about some of those small places that have been untapped, there are lots and lots of fish that have never been caught there, and that will be able to sustain you. So I want to encourage every business of every size to know that whatever move you make is going to be the next best move for you. And so Taylor touched on who needs a roadmap, and you need one. If you're a business owner, you need an innovation roadmap. Particularly right now, you don't have to take the scenic route or stop by, have really time to kind of drive around and figure this thing out. Right now, it's time to really hit the gas and get to the point. And just want to let you all know that you can do this. You started this business, you started a company. Yes, we're in an unprecedented time, but you have the ability and the wherewithal to actually be able to make the changes necessary to be able to move your business to the next level and continue to be able to tap into uncharted territories and resources that you never thought you would be able to get access to. And so even if you're not in business, there's a great opportunity to launch and innovate your business as well. And so I think this is a great time for you guys, and we're looking forward to giving you some tips and tricks on how to go about doing that.
Absolutely. This is a great opportunity, a great time to launch an innovative business or to expand your business. So for those of you that registered in advance, you received a canvas. And those that know me know I'm a huge fan of the canvas, right? I believe in the pen and the paper and the power that happens when you put a pen to paper. Get your ideas out of your head on paper. If you did not register in advance or you don't have your canvas in front of you, that is okay. You'll be able to download it later on the Rev Birmingham website. We'll make sure that you get the details, and we're going to cover the principles of that here. But those of you who do have your canvas, pull it out. Get a Sharpie. Sharpie's my favorite. Get a Sharpie out and let's do this, and let's start by really thinking about where you were in January. January was pre-COVID, and let's really sort of drill down into where you were. And we're going to go back to the basics of the business model canvas, right? And how you built your business from the very beginning, but really thinking about where you were, who was your customer? Be really specific about that. What do you know about your customer base? Where do they live? Where do they work? Where do they play? What are their behavior patterns? And who is your most intent shopper? Get really specific. What can your point of sale system tell you about who your customer was pre-COVID-19? What can your staff tell you about who your customer was pre-COVID? And what was your customer's pain point, and how were you solving it before COVID-19? And what was the solution that you were offering, and how did you get that product into your customer's hand? How were you distributing that product? Chances are it was likely in person for the most of you. And so things have changed a little bit, and we're going to have to figure that out. We're going to have to innovate. What was the typical unit of sale before COVID? How much was it? What was your average transaction? How did people pay for your product before COVID hit? And how did you connect with your customer? What messages motivated them to buy? How did you share that message? And how did your customer share your product with family and friends? Simon Sinek says, start with why. People buy what you do, don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, right? They buy your core values. They buy the story behind it. And so on an average day, we are making decisions with our limbic brain. We're making decisions with our emotions. But now in COVID-19, more than ever, our heart is ruling over our head in our decision making and what we buy and who we choose to shop with, right? So a really powerful story that connects with your customer is going to be more imperative. So really looking at how you were connecting with your customer, what the stories you were telling them, what was the key messaging you were using, and really we're going to begin to analyze through this canvas and through this process what's changed, what needs to pivot, where do you need to bring fresh perspective and fresh approaches to how you're doing business.
So go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, as you were talking, I was just listening to all those different things that business owners have to think about. And, oftentimes it can be challenging to even process that information in such a time like this. I've talked to so many customers, and I'll start asking those questions, and they're like, well, I'm just trying to stay open and stay afloat, or I'm wondering what's gonna happen now. I'm so uncertain, and things are and just chaotic for them right now. And so I think this is a great opportunity to really be able to ask yourself these questions, because it's going to be critical to the next steps of what you're going to be able to experience in your company. Because if you stay in this place of, that panic phase, we'll never be able to answer these questions and see what opportunity lies in front of you. And we believe that there's a lot of opportunity in front of him. And so one of the biggest things that we want to ask next is, are you listening to your clients? We talk about being able to get information. I talked about those larger entities and those smaller entities, and businesses alike. I've been able to see emails going out asking me questions about, how do I feel about coming back into their stores? Or if I had an opportunity to buy a cup of coffee, would I come back inside, or would I like for it to be brought outside? And those simple things give you instant feedback to be able to access new and innovative ways to engage your clients. And so I think that for some businesses that may work, and you may be thinking, well, I saw one person, a good client that I've worked with for Birmingham Cuts, they may say, well, we cut hair, so people can't drive by our place. They have to actually come in. And so, but engaging your client base, asking them what they're comfortable with is going to be the start to you being able to make those next changes. Because at the end of the day, you're in business to meet a need or to service a specific group of people. And so what's their emotional state? What are their pain points right now? What do they feel? What are their apprehensions? Do they feel that what they used to get from you is still necessary? Maybe they're having financial challenges as well, and they need something different. Maybe they still want to be able to get access to certain parts of your products. Maybe if you're in the hair and beauty industry, maybe they don't come to you. Maybe you begin to come to them through Zoom and teach them how to do things on their own. There are so many different ways for you to be able to transition as you begin to move along and address those things that are necessary. And so we have this interesting graph, and so we call it the customer feedback loop. And so we believe that companies should continually listen and apply what they hear from their clients. And so with that being the case, we talk about receiving the information, and then the teams review the feedback, and then the teams take action on the feedback. Don't just ask people questions and you don't actually plan or want to implement the things that they're saying, because that's going to result in them not feeling like you're listening to them, or you may lose that customer base. And so that's going to be critical. Now, some business owners may say, well, Reggie, I'm not tech savvy. I don't have a POS system or a system that has all of this long information about my people that I can email. Most of my clients come into my location historically. And so this is kind of going to be an opportunity for you to go back to what some people call grassroots or bootstrapping methods. There's nothing still wrong with the cell phone. If you have an old invoice or however you do your invoicing, be great to try to reach out to those clients and see what they need, or if they're still interested in getting your services, and how you can make them feel comfortable by still engaging in your organization. And then maybe there's other pieces of your business that may have been small and may have not even really been a big part of your revenue or the money that came into your company that can blow up. For instance, I had an organization who was they used to sell just retail clothing completely, jeans, t-shirts, all of these different things. And then COVID came around and everybody needed face masks. And so when they sold bandanas, and so they began to get picked up online, and people bought bandanas from them all across the globe because they were the only ones who kind of had bandanas at the time. So I think that there are some things that we may have not paid attention to that you may have your hand in. Maybe it's a small product. I'm not really sure what that thing is for you, but you have to be able to analyze your business to be able to make that decision. And so I think that's a great step to be able to, something very practical that you can do. Listen to your clients, engage them, ask them questions, and tell them what you're doing. Tell them what you're doing to make it safe. So I think that would be great.
Yeah, and so really what I'm hearing you say, both of you say at this time, is to get over the apprehension of trying because of the fear of failure. And so I think that's a thing to really hone in on, is that innovation can be a little fear on the other side because you're not sure how to pivot or what pivoting looks like. So I'm glad that you all are pulling out these type of examples. And I know we all have the opportunity to talk. So even the industry that you're in now, it may not be the best industry to be in given the circumstances we're in, but there might be something else that you're good at. There may be another industry that you can pivot in. And so you are still able to be a business owner, still able to be an entrepreneur. It just looks different in a different industry. And so you're having to, when it comes to innovation, open your mind to all different possibilities, even to different industries. And it doesn't mean to put your business down, but you may actually come back to it at another time when it makes more sense. And then it actually will work out because you'll open yourself up to multiple streams of revenue. So I just really love where you guys are going. And so also in the chat, if there's anything you guys can share with us about what do you think are some of the reasons that people fear innovation, we would love to hear it because we want to know how to support you, what type of resources to provide. What are some things you guys think in the way of innovation? Not for you, for our guests. Okay.
Thank you, Alicia. That was great. That was great. Speaking to the fear, I find that oftentimes with knowledge comes some empowerment, right? And so it's not this way for everyone, but for a lot of people, the more data you have to sort of mentally mitigate the risk that you're taking, the more apt you are to take the risk. And so I think that to Reginald's point earlier, talking to your customer, your existing customer, to understand what their pain points are now begins to help you get a clear picture of how you may move forward, right? Because you're trying to create a solution while potentially, hopefully, retaining your customer. And to Alicia's point, developing some new customer relationships as well. And then ultimately coming out of this with diverse revenue streams, right? So what I see is a lot of opportunity, but I think that with a little bit of data gathering, and chances are you did that data gathering when you launched your business in the first place. And so it's not much different. Pivoting isn't all that much different, except that you have more data now than you did when you were starting, and you know more now than you did back then. And so to Reginald's point, that customer feedback loop can advise you through any disaster, whether that be COVID-19, whether that be, weather at some point, illness. Lots of things can happen in the life cycle of a business. And so making sure that you're constantly listening and applying what you are hearing. So
when you said
go
that,
ahead.
something came to mind, a quote, just as I was thinking through this, INC.com, it was a writer. She did a column. She's from Greenleaf Book Group. Her name is Tanya Hall. She said, fortunately, innovation does not have to happen at a grand scale to make an impact on your business. And I thought that was so profound, that a lot of times people think that the change has to be a complete shift. Not saying that it's not going to be. It may be a complete shift, but oftentimes it may be that small thing and reaching in and doing something that you haven't done. And so, I know it may sound like we're saying the same thing over and over, but it's really important that you trust yourself as a business owner. You were the person who came up with the idea in the beginning. You were the individual who said, I'm going to step out here and run a business. I would go on out on a limb and say, you've already reached and surpassed millions of people because you've already started the entity. There are so many businesses that have never been formed before, ever, because of the fear of just what if and what will happen. And you've done that. So trust your instinct. Trust that business-like desire on the inside of you enough to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to make some changes and I'm going to trust myself to navigate through this. I'm going to do my due diligence, but I'm going to be confident in where the business-like ability that I have to be able to weather this storm.
Absolutely. It seems so simple, but trusting yourself, right? Trusting yourself that you have developed some business acumen and that you do know what you're doing and that it will be okay. I'm looking in the chat here and I'm seeing that some folks are fearful of how to implement and maintain change. Some other fears around innovating in a way that doesn't isolate a current demographic that they're serving in a climate where innovation is easiest using technology. So that goes back to how do you connect with your customer? And if your interactions have always been in person, really exploring if there's a way to continue to do that. And so, Brittany, I'm not sure what your business is, but we see this, we have worked with businesses throughout COVID-19 that are pivoting online for the very first time ever. Um, and with that just comes a little bit of, risk associated with that. But again, trying to be loyal to your current customer base and really think through if there's a way to continue to maintain that connection with them in person, what that looks like. And there are examples of people who are doing that, right? So if you don't know Zebby Carney of Eugene's Hot Chicken, you need to know Zebby, not just because his chicken is phenomenal, but he is a phenomenal human and small business owner. So, this idea of the business model canvas and growing around customer feedback is integral to the Eugene's Hot Chicken brand. So, Zebby started slowly. I believe he started doing pop-ups at Trim Tab with a fryer on the weekends, and then he went to a trailer, and then he went to a food truck, and then he went to brick and mortar, and then he went to 2 food trucks, and is now exploring what expansion looks like for him. But for Zebby, every single step of the way, he was listening to his customer and asking the question. So he's had to pivot through this time. His business is located in Uptown. So the BJCC attracts, thousands of visitors, hundreds of thousands of visitors. And he doesn't have that customer base there. And so he's had to pivot the way he is connecting with his customer while generating some new ones. So he put his food truck back on the street, but he's going to neighborhoods. He's going to neighborhoods where brick and mortar locations are closed. He's doing curbside, but he's doing curbside with family meals. He called it the KFC bucket kind of, approach. Feed your whole family. He had never done that before. So I think Zebby's an excellent example of somebody who's doing that locally. Innovation doesn't have to be super risky necessarily, and it does not have to be like a swing for the fences.
Right.
It's just a calculated decision.
I want to take something from the chat because I think this is real relevant to where we're going here. When we talk about where you're trying to go. Drew Holding said, personal pivot points. A few of my brick and mortar clients come to me looking for ways to continue to generate revenue without selling physical products. The idea, one of the ideas that we brainstormed and the most prevalent dealt with offering free industry specific educational content to their customer base, further cementing themselves as an expert in this space, in their space. For them, is this innovative? Absolutely. Yes, that is innovation because people now are at home more than any other time. And so if you can solidify yourself to be a subject matter expert on your topic while you're at home. So maybe you're clothes, maybe you are a stylist, or maybe you are a retail shop person and you deal with fashion, or maybe you are somewhere where somebody has to physically come into your space and they can't right now. Well, you can physically go into their space with video and talk about how you do what you do and the logic behind why you do it the way that you do it. Again, Taylor mentioned it today is in today's buying. People are buying not because of just the best price anymore. People are buying because things resonate with them. And so if you are a stylist and you do hair a certain way and a person cares about their health and other things that go into the products that you use, you should be selling that, giving that information away and letting them know, because now they're attached to you and you've gained a client for life. And so I thought that was a great comment.
Absolutely. So in order to innovate, in order to get where you're trying to go, first things first, you got to begin with the end in mind, right? Like you don't set out on the wildest, craziest journey of your lifetime without a roadmap and an intention about where you want to end up, right? And so often we see in entrepreneurs that you are working on, in the business more than you're working on the business. And now is an amazing time for you to work on the business. And so really figuring out where is it that you're trying to go and carry this thing, right? And so we've talked a little bit about this, and I don't want to belabor it too much, but is your customer the same, right? You are probably, in most cases, you're you have transactions in some way, shape, or form? Are they the same people? Did the same problems exist that were there pre-COVID, or has your customer's problem evolved? Are they experiencing new problems? Are the distribution channels the same? Can you physically get your product into your customer's hand? And if so, what does that look like? What are the skills that are missing within yourself to get that product into your hands? So if you're a retailer, as an example, and you launch a website for online sales for the first time ever, what skills are missing to understand how to drive traffic to your site? Is that buying social media ads? Is that understanding how to optimize your website? Is that understanding social media? Is it, how do I physically mail my product to someone? What are the skills gaps that are going to help you get there, right? And is your typical unit of sale the same? Is it a new product? Are you incorporating new products? Or do you have the opportunity to sell the same? And do you have the opportunity to actually increase your typical unit of sale? Do you have the infrastructure or the tech needs, to my point earlier, in connecting with your customer? And then going back to this idea of messaging, right? We are in an emotional place. Everyone is in a different place of COVID-19 in terms of an emotional scale. And your customers want to hear that you have their best interests, their health and well-being at the forefront of everything you're doing. And so how are you connecting with your customer to instill a level of confidence that they can come do curbside at your restaurant, or they can come shop in your retail store and feel safe? And so really analyzing how you're communicating with people and whether your channels and your messages are still applicable.
No, I agree 100%. You know, to piggyback off of that, a lot of these entities are service based. You know, things are not stopping. You know, we're in Alabama. It's hot in the South. Your AC breaks down. You know, you want to get your air conditioner fixed, but at the same time, you want to know that the service provider has done their due diligence and is going to make sure that you and your family are safe while they're working on your air conditioner, or you know, maybe the refrigerator goes out, or the range, or the washer and dryer, or something else is going on. All of these people that we still have to interact with, you know, cars we may not be driving as much, but they still have to be serviced. And so there's a lot of places where people want to feel safe. There is a lot of fear being pushed out right now because of, you know, obviously the virus in and of itself, and people are being sick and people are dying, and nobody wants that to be a part of their household. And so as a entrepreneur, you have to be very aware of that as a business owner and say, how can I, as a business owner, ease the discomfort that my clients or potential clients may have by doing business with me? What can I do, and share that with them? And I think, agree with Taylor, you know, that could be a great starting point by getting people to re-engage. You know, I think that is great. And that's what you have to do with that being in mind right now, just because it's so prevalent.
So I'm seeing great examples of innovation that are popping up here. And so, you know, as we think about, and if you're feeling somewhat confident in your ability to innovate, I have an awesome resource for you. But before we jump to that, I see Miss Alicia has a question for us. Reggie.
Yes, the conversation is so good. I want to make sure that these points are not being missed on anyone. So some of the things that have really stood out to me that you guys were saying, and I want everyone who's tuned in to really, really think through, is what is the new problem that your customer is facing? And I think that's something that as entrepreneurs and business owners, we have to think about, because initially when we started our companies and our businesses, we were tuned in and focused in on one problem, but now people's problems have changed. And so really, really thinking through, okay, who's my customer and what is the new problem for my customer, and how can I address that new problem for them, utilizing the same industry I'm in, or possibly pivoting to another industry. Because at the end of the day, an entrepreneur, all we are problem solvers. right? And so I want us to be reminded of that we are problem solvers. We have this. And so sometimes you have to pivot and think, what problem can I solve, right? And so also it goes back to A.G. Gaston, find the need and fill it. What are the needs right now, right? So you talked about a boutique
Yes.
owner pivot to sell face masks. Hey, that's not necessarily jeans and t-shirt, but it is a need and it's filled, and you're still able to be an entrepreneur, still able to be a business owner. So I don't want that to be missed on us. What is the new problem that your customer is facing? And you really were digging down in on this, Taylor, and what message resonates with them now, right? So I figured out the new problem, right? I see the need. I'm getting ready to fill it. Now, how can I message them in a way that it really resonates with my customer? And I think right now, all of our messaging authentically needs to resonate empathy. We need people to understand we know where you are, we see you, and that we are here to solve a problem for you because we genuinely care about you. So I just wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to not miss that, because those were some great points. And I think this is such a great conversation. So I just wanted to, y'all can cut me out now. I just want to say that.
Oh, thank you for tying it all up with a bow, Alicia, in true Alicia fashion. That is awesome.
That was great.
I recognize that. Yes, of course.
Before we transition, I maybe say her name, but Miss Bishop, Charlize Bishop, made a comment and mentioned how she was being innovative, and I just wanted to share this because there's different industries, and I in finance I see all different types of businesses and how businesses have to function. But I thought this was great. She says, as a marriage and family therapist, she said, I took the traditional speed dating event and added twist, making it virtual. She said the event will allow people to date from the comfort and safety from their own homes. Hotspot virtual speed dating experience, my most recent innovative ideal. I think that is absolutely brilliant. Like, that's the type of stuff that you have to do now that things are different. We're in a new normal. We're in a new space where everything has changed. The entire game has changed. And with the game changing, that doesn't mean that everything shuts down. That means that now there's new opportunities to explore, and you, just as well as anybody else, can jump in there and find that new solution. And so I thought that was great.
That is very inspirational. Kudos to you, Charlize, for pivoting. That's awesome. So, I came across this resource, and if you're one of those people that maybe you're just not that confident in what does this look like, there's a website out there, covidinnovations.com, and this is really cool, you guys. There's about 900 or more innovations from across the globe cataloged here by industry. So I promise you that there are ideas out there that you can replicate, you can improve upon, you can make them your own and use it for inspiration, and then go forth and create something cool and submit your own. So I saw all kinds of neat stuff on this website. Burger King has created these gigantic social distancing crowns. I mean, what Instagram selfie bait? I mean, it is just asking to go viral. They're 6 foot, they're like 3 feet on each side, social distancing crowns. People have put cutouts in their restaurant windows to make it look like a full dining room so that the streetscape doesn't look, doesn't look vacant. I saw a mask with a hole for a straw so that you can drink your cocktail and wear your mask at the same time. I mean, y'all, there is stuff within every single category here. So I really encourage you to just go check it out. Spend a little bit of time and begin thinking about how you can get creative and maybe take some ideas and put your spin on it. But there's inspiration there to get you started for sure.
Yeah.
So,
cool beans.
I think we should wrap up let's take a look at the innovation roadmap real quick. And again, you're going to have a canvas that you can download. And this really just sort of sums all of it up to get in one sort of listicle here, but you'll have a canvas where you can really take a deep dive into this. And then I'd love to take some questions and have just a little bit of conversation with the folks that are here. So just to sort of recap, we talked about going back to, if you'll put the slide back up there. Yep, define today's problem. What is today's problem? How does it compare to yesterday's? You're going to clarify your solution. To Alicia's point, clarify the solution. We are problem solvers. A.G. Gaston said, find a need and fill it. Clarify what your solution is, but not just that, how valuable is it, right? What is the value and what is the customer willing to pay for that solution? Do the work there and really hone in on who your customer is. Where are you going to find them? And craft the compelling message that's going to resonate with them, to connect with them. And then audit your communication channels, right? So where are you currently communicating? And does all of this innovation still apply? Can you continue to do what you've been doing in terms of where you're communicating and how you're communicating? Chances are it's not the case. You're going to need to pivot those channels as well. And then to go back to listening and doing that customer feedback loop consistently, right? So that you can continue to pivot, because y'all, this thing is evolving, right? We don't know what the future is going to look like. And so being nimble and being optimistic through this time are two very important keys to success in navigating this unprecedented time. Is keep your spirits high. You are not alone, and your customer is cheering for you as well. Your customer wants to see you succeed, and the ecosystem wants to see you succeed. So keep your head high, stay nimble, and keep that spirit of optimism.
Yeah, no, I agree. That is, if I can give you nothing else, what I communicated about, I'm in the fishing. Anybody who knows me, I'm wide open on that. And, it's something special about being able to, if a fish was the customer, for you to be able to drop something in the water and see if they like it or not right away. And to me, symbolizes direct feedback from your client. If you can put something out there and get a response from them right away, you can move faster. And so a lot of businesses that I've seen on here, they're smaller, what you call micro enterprises, less than 10 employees. You have the ability, you have an advantage over larger corporations to be able to be nimble in today's climate. And so use that as an advantage. We have speed dating options. We have people that are able to just do things quickly and not have to go through a lot of red tape. And don't be afraid to try. If it doesn't work, try something else. It's okay. And we are here to support you. And so any of the organizations listed on Small Business Week, all of us are here. We're part of the ecosystem. We're one big collective working to help you. And we just want to see you all be successful. And so we would love to hear from you all and see what you have to say. If you have any questions or anything, any thoughts, comments, we want to hear from you guys. And so thank you all for being here.
Absolutely. Alicia, do we have time for some questions? I would love to open it up if those that are joining us have some specific questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I need you guys to do right now, we've had some good conversation going in the chats just about how people are innovating, what they're doing. I even see one another. You guys are in there, encourage each other in the chat. I like this type of thing. So we've had now I want you guys to ask some questions. You have Taylor here, you have Reginald here. They have shared some really, really great information about innovation. We've had the customer feedback loop. We've had just encouragement around not being afraid to try. So now's the time to ask some questions. So any questions that you guys have, please leave them there in the comments. We'll have them come across the screen. And we'll answer those questions, because that's what we're here for. So this is not just your run-of-the-mill tune in and go cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner and watch Netflix while we're on here. This is the time to interact, y'all. Like this is something different. So we want you guys to ask the questions. We want to know what it is that you're thinking. We want to know how can we help you. And so we had a question to put that contact information up there. We have that contact information up there. And as well. And so I know we had another question about the canvas. So that innovation canvas, once you register, if you register through Eventbrite, that innovation canvas is inside of your email. So the same email that you were able to access this video through, that innovation canvas is there in that same email for you to download. However, if you didn't register through Eventbrite, that's okay too. You can find this canvas on Rev Birmingham's website. And so Taylor, when is that going to be up?
It should be up by tomorrow.
Okay.
Look for that tomorrow morning. It's me, revbirmingham.org. And I encourage all of you to go to our small business page. We have lots of resources. We've done a tremendous number of webinars and sessions throughout COVID-19. I think you'll find some additional resources there that you might find helpful during this time. And so this is where you will find that as well. And just as a reminder, at Rev Birmingham, we offer one-on-one coaching. So if you want to schedule time to talk through your Canvas specifically, our team is available to do that as well.
Awesome. So we have a question that should be coming up, but also let me just take a pause because she just made mention that Rev Birmingham will schedule time for you to go through your Canvas. And Taylor, can you tell me how much it costs for you to sit down with somebody and help them to go through their Canvas? It's
Zero.
It's $20.99. So listen, there are some amazing resources in this city. I don't want you to let anybody tell you that Birmingham does not support small businesses. This is an entrepreneurial hub. There are resources, and guess what Small Business Week is doing? It is revealing all of those resources. So revbirmingham.org. Is it .org? .org. You can go on there.
revbirmingham.org.
.org, right? revbirmingham.org. You can go on there and you can schedule a meeting to sit down with Taylor for free to talk through your idea. Like, that is amazing. Okay, let me step off my soapbox. So we have a question here. The question is, how do we fund our innovative ideas if we are strapped for cash? That's a good question.
I guess I'm the finance guy, so everybody's looking at me, but that's a great question. So, innovation can be funded first and foremost. That's my first statement. A lot of people do feel that they have to come out of their pocket for their innovation. And one of the tips that I like to share when we do our consultations with business owners is that you need funds oftentimes to be able to generate additional revenue. That is one of the greatest reasons to get a loan. There's this myth that you should not borrow money to make money. And I believe that you should leverage debt to be able to make money. So if you have an innovative idea to bring a new side of your business to be able to get that funded, you can do that. The individual that I mentioned earlier about the bandanas, he needed more money to buy bandanas because they were selling out as soon as he could get them in. So, and the plant that he was getting them made from was getting ready to close because it was in California. And so he came to me and asked for funding, and we were able to help him to do that, to build his inventory because the need was so great. So definitely feel free to reach out to Sabre Finance. We would love to help you wherever you're located. Look on SBA.gov for micro lenders, and micro lenders across the nation can help you. But if you're here at Alabama, we would love to be able to assist you and have a business consultation. Doesn't cost you anything. And if we're able to assist you to get some funding and help you with crafting that idea, we would love to.
Okay. I'm sorry, y'all.
I will say this, Alicia.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hold on. What'd you say?
I
was just going to say,
I get excited, Taylor. I'm sorry. I get really excited.
I love that about you. I love that about you. I think it's important to note here too, Reggie, and I look to you to affirm this though. If you are looking for funds to innovate, or if you're looking for funds at this time, your banker, whether a traditional banker or a CDFI, a micro lender, they want to know what your plan is, right? So everything that we covered today about where you're trying to go and how you're innovating and how you're going to connect with customers, they want to see your plan, that if they give you a $20,000 loan to innovate, that it's going to pay off and they're going to get a return on that investment. And so some of the due diligence to really figuring out, who is your customer? How are you going to get it there? All of the things we covered today, your lender's going to be looking for that from you.
They all go together. And so,
they all go together.
We don't give information in a vacuum. The two go together. The canvas, the plan, if you want to call it a plan, if you want to call it a canvas, it goes together with your reasoning behind you needing funding. And so I couldn't agree more. Alicia?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate y'all for letting me back in. So listen, So I definitely hear what you were saying, Taylor. Like it's really important, guys, to make sure you have a plan, right? Because you're not gonna let anybody hold $20 unless you know when you're gonna get it back. So we want to make sure if we're going, hey Layla, we want to make sure if we're going and we're asking questions and we're getting funding that we actually know that we have our plan in place. But one of the things when we talked about not being afraid to innovate, when we talked about continuing the good fight to think of new ideas, listen to what Reginald said. He said innovation can be funded. And I don't think we've ever heard it that way before. Because most of the time when you think of a new idea, you're like, I don't know. But y'all, innovation can be funded. So whatever that new idea is, whatever that pivot is, there is an opportunity for you to get that funding. You just need to make sure your plan is in place. But guess what, y'all? We got Reginald Smith on the line. So you can get his contact information and he will make sure that you are prepared for your innovation to be funded. So that is why Small Business Week is just so amazing, because we're not just having conversations with one another about theory and what sounds good. We're putting the people in front of you that you need to get connected to, because we are serious about small businesses. So I just wanted to say that. Y'all know I get excited. Okay, so I want to go back in here. Y'all make sure y'all dropping these questions in here, because like I said, you have Taylor and Reggie here, and it is 12:52, and we're going to wrap this up at 12 because I respect everyone's time. So if you have any more questions, drop them in. Make sure you all share this video. This content will be available right after this, so you can repost it, you can share it if someone missed it, because we want to make sure that you are a part of it. Let's see. Hi, we got Nadia the doula. Hey, girl, we got y'all on here. We have Duquette Johnston. We thank you for tuning in. These are some amazing business owners. So also, guys, in this chat, this is like a whole little networking situation. All right? Don't despise your humble beginners. This is a whole networking situation right here. So in this chat, you all jump in there, network one another. We have a lot of different businesses. Share your ideas for innovation. I'm just, y'all can tell I'll be on 1,000. I'm so excited.
And collaborate, Alicia, collaborate. Like, this is an amazing opportunity to take your strength and take somebody else's strength and figure out how you can collaborate to cross promote and to build some new customers off of one another's customer base. This is an amazing time to collaborate as well. So I encourage you, to Alicia's point, network and find opportunities to amplify your brand. If it, to one of the participants earlier, if you are strapped for cash, who can you align yourself with so that you can pull your resources together to do something really cool and innovative and to amplify that message to a broader audience? Now is a great time for collaboration.
Awesome. And so, you know what? That's so great, because that is a perfect segue, because we have a question here. If we could get that on the screen, we have a question of how can all Birmingham entrepreneurs stay connected? And then you, Taylor, are talking about collaboration. Well, that is why I'm going to keep on pushing this out there. That is why y'all need to be a part of Small Business Week, because guess what? Tomorrow is all about collaboration. Tomorrow is about how can we create meaningful collaboration amongst entrepreneurs. So tomorrow, right here, same time, 12 p.m., we will have Birmingham Biz Hub. We will have Blacklisted, and they are all about combining resources and ensuring that entrepreneurs can collaborate. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for that, because we understand that is also a part of the success of an entrepreneurial hub, of a very thriving, beautiful ecosystem, is making sure that everyone can work together, because we all have some amazing skills and talents. And I believe that with them combined, our city will continue to thrive when it comes to entrepreneurship. So we have another question here, and this will be our last one before we wrap up. Let me get that there. Let's see. We have another question. Oh, we got some stuff coming in. Look at y'all. Okay, I see y'all. I see y'all. Listen, I love to talk. Go ahead. All right. So our next question is as you innovate, it's not only important to know what to say yes to, but more importantly, what to say no to. This will allow you to utilize your energy in the most useful way. See, that wasn't a question, but that was a power statement. Corey, I tell you, we appreciate you, brother. So he's saying what we need to know. We also need to know what to say yes to, but also what to say no to, because to his point, there are a lot of different ideas swirling around, and it's important for entrepreneurs and business owners to really stay focused on what matters and what makes sense. What do you all think about that, Taylor and Reggie?
You will not.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, you won't believe the
You're absolutely right.
that we've seen during this time of people trying to chase rabbit holes just because one person or two people brought something up. So I couldn't agree more.
And I think, Alicia, this goes back to your core values, right? As a business, one of the very first things that you should do, and if you haven't done it yet, is spend some time really honing in on what your values are as a company. That's going to become your North Star. That's going to become the thing that guides you along the way when you begin to make decisions about whether or not partnerships or moving into new markets is right for you. It becomes that compass for you as a business owner. So core values, and if it doesn't feel right and it's not in line, maybe it's not the right collaboration. Maybe it's the thing you should say no to.
Man, this was awesome. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Reginald. We are getting ready to wrap up. If we could get that slide that has their contact information and one more time, because I want to make sure that everyone has a way to connect, to get connected to them, to sit in front of them, because like we said, it is free 99 to sit down with Taylor for her to help you to think through your business. It is free 99 to sit down in front of Brother Reginald Smith for him to make sure that your innovation can be funded. Let me tell y'all, we are going to come out of this stronger than ever. We will rebound as an entrepreneurial community. And so I am just so glad that we all have each other. So like I said, in those chats, you all connect with each other. Make sure you're seeing who's there, what their business is. Share this video, because tomorrow we are going to be talking about collaboration. How do we collaborate? What are the resources in place inside the city of Birmingham to help us to collaborate? We are so excited that you're here. Make sure you register for tomorrow. You can tune in at 12 p.m. Taylor and Reggie, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow as we continue Small Business Week 2020. We love you.
All right. Thank you. Love you. Bye.